guys, ShelbyKay here and welcome back to my channel and happy 2021! I'm so excited to be back. I decided after Youtuber I was going to take a break for the rest of the year, just kind of focus on spending time with my boyfriend, my family. I moved back in, so me and my boyfriend have just been going crazy, kind of working on our home and making it as cozy as possible and just making it our own. I got a new job. There's just so many new things and I'm so excited to share with you guys. But for today's video and the first video of 2021, I decided that I wanted to talk about some lessons that I learned in 2020. I feel like for so many people, myself included, 2020 was one of the worst years ever. I feel like there was so much learning that came out of it as well. I know for me personally, I learned so many things in 2020 that I think are so important for me to take, into 2021 and years beyond. And I just feel like so many people are focused on the negative that came with 2020. I just thought it would be fun to make a little video about some of the positive things that came out of 2020, even if they came out of negative situations that I dealt with. So I promise I will do a little update as we go into the month, probably in a vlog or something like that. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and start with the lessons. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Number one is probably the biggest lesson that I learned in 2020, and that is if you don't take care of your mental and physical health, it will be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to really take control of your life and achieve your goals and do those kinds of things. As you guys know, I've talked about it a million times. I had the worst depression I've ever had going into 2020, and then it just got worse and worse. Finally, in summer, I took control and I went and saw a psychiatrist, got on medication, and I'm feeling so much better. Not only that, but I had a lot of physical health things this year. I was sick a lot. I hurt my back and was out of work for a couple of weeks. And I actually just hurt it again a couple of weeks ago, and just a lot of physical stuff going on as well. And it made it almost impossible for me to achieve anything and to do anything with my life that I wanted to do, really take control. And something that I've kind of come to terms with, I think I've always known this, but something that I've definitely had to come to terms with as 2020 progressed is that I have to take control of that stuff before I can do anything else in my life. So Wednesday's video is going to be all about my goals for 2021, and my main goals this year are to get my physical health back in check. Last year was about my mental health, this year's about my physical health, but I'll talk more about that on Wednesday's video. But I just think it is so important for us to take control of our mental health and our physical health and take care of ourselves, because anything else that we want to do in our life will just be so much harder if we're sick all the time or depressed or anything like that, and it'll just control our life. The second thing that I learned is also a really big one that I learned this year, and that is communication is truly key in especially romantic relationships, but really any relationship that you can have. I have always been someone who has been too afraid to communicate when something is bothering me or when I'm feeling a certain way, mostly because of the abusive relationship I was in for so long. I was gaslighted and I was always like, my feelings didn't matter and it always started an argument. So now I kind of have a little bit of fear and anxiety when it comes to communicating, and a lot of times I just hold it in. And something I learned this year is that you can't do that. It'll just fester and it will become such a bigger problem if you don't talk it out. And something else that I've definitely had to come to terms with is that things don't change on their own. Like if you have a partner and there's something about your relationship that isn't working or that bothers you, you can't sit here and expect things to change if you don't bring it up to your partner and talk to them and let them know what's going on and how you would like things to maybe get a little bit better. You can't just expect change without talking about it. I learned this mostly in my romantic relationship, but this can apply to any relationship that you have, in your friendships, in your family, anything, any sort of relationship that you may have. You can't just expect things to change. You have to be able to talk about them, and you should be able to talk about them openly. If you can't, you might have to reevaluate their relationship. Is it really healthy for you? Is it toxic? That kind of thing. So communication is definitely key, and that is just something I definitely had to learn this year. And let me tell you, my life has completely changed since I've learned how to communicate effectively. Number three kind of relates to number one in that Sometimes you just can't handle a problem on your own and you need to seek professional help. With my mental health, I had been going so long trying to take care of it on my own, you know, meditating, journaling, doing all those things, which definitely helps, and I always feel much better when I do it. But I was at a point where my depression was so out of control, my hormones were so out of whack, my brain chemistry was so out of whack that no matter how much I did those things, I was still feeling terrible and lousy, and it was just to the point that I needed to seek professional help. And as I said, I got on medication, and now I am such a different person than I was last year. Even for years, I feel like I'm such a different person. I feel more myself than I have in years, and I realize now that professional help is something that I needed to seek. There's only so much that you can do on your own. Sometimes you just need to go see a doctor about something, and this can go for physical things too. If you have, you know, some sort of maybe weird illness that you're always fighting, or some sort of injury, and you're just trying to take care of it on your own, sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you need to go seek that professional help, and that is okay. There is nothing wrong with admitting that you need help and going to someone who you know can help you, or at least seeking advice from someone who maybe knows a little bit more about it than you do, or has, you know, better techniques and things that you can try to get yourself out of that situation. That is totally okay. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that you're incapable of taking care of yourself. It actually is kind of more taking care of yourself because you are seeking that help and you know when to ask for help. That is something that I've definitely had to learn this year, and my life is so much better for it. Number 4 is another important one that I feel like I learn a lot every year, but I think especially in 2020, it's something that definitely resonated true, I think, for a lot of people too, and that's that you can plan and you can dream big all you want, and you should. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have big dreams and plans for yourself, but that don't forget to take a moment and enjoy the small moments, or the quiet moments, or, you know, the simple things going on in your life. Don't forget to enjoy the quiet time with your family. Don't forget to enjoy, you know, your early mornings where you're just sitting there sipping your coffee and it's quiet and it's peaceful. Enjoy those small moments, because a lot of times those are the best memories you're going to have. Yes, you can have all these big dreams and it feels so good to achieve things and be productive all the time. But I think especially in 2020, a lot of us learned that the small moments are what are important, and to really enjoy those and be present in those moments and take them for what they are and not forget them in all of this hustle bustle and this toxic productivity culture that we have in this country. It's just, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but just remember to take some pleasure in those small moments, and don't forget that those moments are some of the most important moments in our life. And then number 5 is definitely something that is personal to me, and that is home is truly the best place on earth. My whole life, especially ever since I was a teenager and could start driving myself, I have always been someone who's like, I want to go out and do stuff all the time. I always have to be doing something, especially when I first moved out of my parents' house and got my own place. I was hardly ever home because I was out doing things. I was out with my friends. I was out going on dates. I was out, you know, walking around, just doing things all the time. And, you know, me and my boyfriend got together, and we don't always go do things, but I've always felt this inner, and like kind of almost antsy that I wasn't doing anything, you know, that we're just sitting at home. And like, I always feel like I want to go do something. I want to be out of the house. I want to go see friends. I want to do this. I want to do that. And obviously in 2020, things were closed and quarantine was happening, and we were expected to stay home and protect ourselves and protect others. And I definitely learned this year that home is my absolute favorite place on earth. I have now become such a homebody. Like, even going to the store, I'm like, I really don't want to go anywhere. And like on the weekends, I'm like, I just want to stay home and chill out with my boyfriend and my dogs and just, you know, relax. I have done such a 180 on that part of my life. And it's nice because I'm saving money because I'm not going out and spending money on random things all the time. And it's so much more enjoyable for me to, you know, spend a night in watching movies with my boyfriend than it is for me to go out to the bar and get drunk every single weekend. Not that I was really doing that, but you guys get what I'm saying. I've become such a homebody and I love being at home. As I said, me and my boyfriend have done so much work on our house that my house is now like the coziest, and I'm so happy with how our house is, like how we're building a home together. And it's just my favorite place on earth. I mean, I created this beautiful YouTube background and our bedroom is really coming along, and just all of these things, all these products that we're working on, I love my home so much, and it's now my favorite place on earth, and I never want to leave it, which I know is not necessarily healthy either, but yeah. So those are the lessons that I learned in 2020. I really hope that you guys maybe resonated with some of these. Let me know down in the comments below, what are some things that 2020 taught you, and what are you looking forward to most in 2021, because I'm so curious to know. Please be sure to check out my Instagram and my TikTok, which will be linked down below. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I am back in full force and I'm ready to get back on my YouTube game, so please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Happy 2021, and I will see you all in Wednesday's video. Bye guys. I like the way your hair fits right in my back pocket just one time.